Oh. What is it now, Spratt?
I'm sorry to bother your ladyship, especially when you have company. I'm afraid I must hand in my notice. I have suffered as much as anyone can expect to suffer in the course of their duties. I can take no more, my lady. I can take no more.
Typical Spratt. He's as touchy as a beauty losing her looks.
I'm sorry to disturb your ladyship.
What is it, Spratt?
We are having rather a problem with Ms Denker. She does not seem to grasp the laundry arrangements here. She wants it all to go to the big house, even the smaller items.
You're losing your sense of the appropriate, Spratt. You're losing your sense of occasion.
But she's back there in the kitchen now, shouting at the top of her voice and refusing to wash your things.
Well, I'm sure this is all very interesting to Mrs Crawley.
I'm sorry, my lady, but I can't help it. May I send her in?
How are you, Spratt? Well, I hope.
Everyone has their troubles, my lady.
Oh, dear.
Spratt has been helping to train my new maid, Denker.
I'd say she takes after the dachshund, my lady.
In what way?
She's quite untrainable.
Spratt, you mustn't be jealous when Denker is saying she can cook.
I was not so much jealous as dubious, my lady.
You'll have to prove him wrong one day, Denker.
Yes, prove me wrong and make us all a delicious broth.
Well, we'll see.
That's right. Seeing is believing. Eh, Ms Denker? Mrs Crawley said how much she enjoyed the evening, my lady.
It was colourful. Thank Mrs Potter for the delicious dinner, but please tell her I need a rest from such rich delights.
Are you ready to go out, my lady?
Yes.
What about some of Miss Denker's famous broth?
I'm aware that you're teasing, Spratt, but as a matter of fact, it would be very nice.
Miss Denker, would you take up the challenge of the wooden spoon?
Well, wouldn't I be in Mrs Potter's way? I'd never want to be a nuisance.
I bet you wouldn't, and there's a stove in the still room.
Could you manage with that, Denker?
I'd be delighted, my lady.
You see, Spratt, not every spring and lever obeys your touch.
Can I help you, Miss Denker?
No, I'm just tidying her ladyship's papers. She'll be down in a minute.
I'll tell Mrs Potter.
Oh, how very reassuring, the butler giving the cook an early warning.
What are you talking about?
No, I don't want to worry you.
Worry me with what?
Well, if you must know, there's going to be a shortening of the wages bill round here. But why burden ourselves? What can we do? Que sera, sera.
Are you trying to suggest, in your usual maladroit fashion, that our jobs are in peril?
Well, I hate to sound smug, Mr Spratt, but I would suggest that her ladyship will always need to dress and undress.
Oh, while a butler is a luxury. Is that what you're saying?
My advice, Mr Spratt, is to live for the moment. We none of us know what the future will bring.
I'm sorry to disturb your ladyship.
Yes, Spratt, what is it?
I just hope you will be kind enough to give me sufficient warning.
I'm sorry, what?
So I may find myself alternative employment before I am cast out.
Oh, Spratt, you've clearly had a bad dream and are confusing it with reality.
Your ladyship's humour is always a tonic, but it is a matter of some importance to me.
I'm sorry, if you were talking in Urdu, I couldn't understand you less.
Miss Denker has broken the news that the households here and at the Abbey are to be reduced.
Has she?
I do not see how you can manage without a cook, a housemaid, or Miss Denker, which leaves me as the only candidate for removal.
Well, I believe many people live without butlers, so I'm told.
Exactly. And all I ask is some warning when my time is up.
Yeah, well, leave this to me, Spratt. I will attend to it.
Ladyship.
Ah, Spratt, could we have some tea?
Ladyship.
It seemed a little chilly, my lady, so I've brought you a shawl.
Oh, you are a wonder, Denker.
Thank you.
I shall miss you.
Lady?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, forget I said that. After all, nothing is settled.
What's not settled?
I don't understand. I thought you told Spratt about the staff being cut back here and at the Abbey.
Well, I may have mentioned it.
Oh, well, as I said, nothing's decided.
But your ladyship couldn't manage without a maid.
Mrs. Crawley does, don't you?
Indeed I do. But I don't wish to upset poor Denker.
But Mrs. Crawley also manages without a butler, milady.
That is true, but I don't think I could break with tradition to quite that degree. Shall we have some tea?
Your ladyship. Ms Denker? Don't worry, Ms Denker. I've got a copy of the lady upstairs.
What is that?
A stamp to mark the British Empire exhibition, just been released. First commemorative stamp ever.
What's that great lion doing?
It's the Lion of Britain with the head of the king.
I think it's silly.
It's because you understand nothing. You're up early? I suppose you have quite a day ahead. Are you packed?
No, I have not packed.
I shouldn't leave it too long. You should take up a breakfast and dress her to be sure of your reference and then head off.
Is that all you've got to say?
Well, don't look at me. It's not my fault. There's nothing I can do.
Did they catch your nephew?
What?
Your nephew, the one who's on the run from the police, the one you sheltered here. Did they catch him?
I don't believe so, no.
I wonder if that was because he was allowed to rest here. I think maybe it was. Septimus Spratt, if I am sacked, I am taking you down with me. And my sin is not a criminal offence.
What can I do? I can't talk to her before she's dressed.
No, well, while you're waiting, you can think of what you're going to say, unless you want to find yourself sewing mailbags.
I'm not promising anything. I mean, I suppose she doesn't listen to me.
You'd better hope she does, Mr Spratt. You'd better hope she does. There you are. You took your time.
I thought you'd rung by accident.
How else would you like to be summoned? By Joshua's trumpet?
I prefer not to be summoned at all. At any rate, not by you.
Take these down to the car. I'm going to fetch her goloshes and umbrella.
I hope you can manage a few days without Denker, Spratt.
I hope that we'll be fulfilled and gladly, my lady.
Are these all the cases, Denker?
Your ladyship is very sharp-eyed. We are missing one. Well, since Mr Spratt was given the task of bringing them down, no doubt he's put it somewhere special for safekeeping.
Oh, how very considerate of you, Spratt. Fetch it now, please.
But, your ladyship, I don't...
Fetch the case, Spratt. I hope you're not too tired after your exertions.
Oh, my lady, I'm not tired, exactly.
Oh, good. I'm glad if the wedding was a success.
Oh, the wedding was a success, yes?
Spratt, I have told you before, I do not appreciate a man of mystery. If you have something to say, say it.
I would, your ladyship, but it may not be quite right for me to tell.
Well, if that is the case, then do not say it. Do you have some other business?
Only that it may not be mine to tell, but it is in a way yours.
You're testing me, Spratt, and I warn you, being tested does not bring out the best in me.
No, your ladyship.
I will not repeat myself. Either impart this piece of information, if you can empower yourself to do so, or go.
Very well. I hope Lady Mary enjoyed her time in Liverpool.
What?
I was standing outside the Grand Hotel this morning, milady, when I saw her come out with her suitcases. She was accompanied by Lord Gillingham, who had clearly also been staying in the hotel.
Well, yes. They were both staying there. They were attending an informal conference of northern landowners. Lord Gillingham thought Lady Mary might derive some benefit from it.
So you knew about it?
Of course I did. Why, what did you imagine you were witnessing?
Well,
Oh, nothing vulgar, I hope. Nothing beneath the dignity of a butler of this house.
oh, nothing of that sort, milady.
I am glad to hear it. Now, if you would be good enough to let me drink my brandy in peace.
Your ladyship.